Hi guys, welcome to Love Being Outdoors. My name's Kieran and you're joining me in the gorgeous South Downs as we take on a 2-day hiking and wild camping adventure. You're going to walk through some rolling hills, sleep under the stars and visit towns and villages that are rich in history. We'll see some wildlife along the way and hopefully find a thing or two to forage. So stick with me if you want to come on this little adventure. Before we dive in, take a moment to soak in the majesty of the South Downs National Park. Spanning over 1,600 square kilometres, this protected landscape offers a stunning mix of chalk grassland, ancient woodland and iconic rolling hills. From the earliest Neolithic settlers to medieval communities that built hilltop forts and villages, this land has long been a canvas for human ingenuity. In recognition of its remarkable natural beauty and cultural heritage, the South Downs was designated a national park in 2010. This status not only helps protect the unique habitats and wildlife that call it home, but also ensures that the history woven into these hills is preserved for future generations. Whether you're here to hike along its ancient trails, explore the hidden villages, or simply take in the breathtaking views, the South Downs reminds us that every landscape has a story, and every step we take connects us to that past. Okay, and we're off. So I've walked for about 10 minutes now out of Angmering. I stopped there to grab myself some food for 2 days. There's a really nice pub, shop, etc. Like I said, walked for a little bit, starting to get to the sort of back end country roads now, nearing the South Downs National Park. It's about 3:30 and the sun sets are now around sort of 7:40, 7:45ish. So I've got a couple hours walking. Probably do about 6 or 7 miles or so and then find a camp up near towards Amberley. That's my watch saying 1k. And then tomorrow I will be setting off and following the River Arun down through the towns of Houghton, South Stoke and Arundel. There's loads of history along the river itself. Not only has it been used as a waterway for thousands of years, but the towns that surround it have a lot of medieval and even more current history to them. It wasn't long before I entered Angmering Park Estate and its large woodlands. Coppicing is an ancient woodland technique where trees are cut down to their base, encouraging fresh, new shoots to grow. Management of the land through cycles of cutting and regrowth create a sustainable supply of wood and maintain habitat for wildlife. This is garlic mustard. It's part of the brassica and cabbage family. It's fairly identifiable by its big heart-shaped leaves at this time in spring, although you want the smaller ones for better flavour. And its flowers have 4 petals, which is very common in the brassica family. So all of this plant is actually edible. You can also eat the seeds as well for sort of that mustard seed flavour. It's quite peppery and hot. But yeah, it works really nice as a sort of salad green, finely chopped, or you can blanch it and use it as a spinach alternative. It's a shame this bench isn't very well looked after because it's got the most amazing views. So I've now climbed all the way up to the top of this hill, and this is Bartham Hill Trig Point, and it gets its name from a town that was supposedly here a long time ago, and although there's no written records, the fortification in the area, we know that there were people that were living here, these little lambs. Hello. Cute, more here too. Hey little guys. Coming to touch Trig Point with me? No, you didn't fancy it. Nearing the last section of today's walk now. I've done about 5 miles or so. I've just got this last bit of incline through this gap on the right and up to the top of those hills over there, and that's where I'll be setting up for the evening. So if the weather stays as it is, we should get a lovely sunset. Having a bit of a dilemma at the moment. I'm meant to continue up this track for probably another sort of quarter of a mile, half a mile or so. But there's this space here just on the other side of this hedgerow, and that's providing a bit of shelter from the wind, and it is quite windy at the moment, but it's got amazing views off, so I'm tempted just to park up here and save myself the extra distance and know that I've got a bit of wind shelter and flat ground. So yeah, we'll see. Maybe, yeah, I'm gonna do it. It is the smarter choice. Sweet. The tent I'm using is a Vango F10 Helium UL2. I've actually just bought it myself. It's one of my first nights in it. I really wanted a tent that was lightweight and also, you know, strong 3-season tent, as we're coming in spring, summer anyway. But I'm going to be doing some trips up to Scotland in the quite near future, and yeah, the weather can be quite unpredictable. So getting something with a bit more defence was probably the right option. And there we have it. That is home for the evening. For dinner tonight, I've got this quattro cheese hot chicken flavour ramen. So just boiling up some water and I'll chuck that in with it. And then these greens too. So they'll just go in for a minute or so before I serve. So I'm in my tent now. It's about 8:15, so it's starting to get dark. I've got just enough room for all my stuff. This tent's actually been really, really good from a sort of, you know, one-man tent. I've got plenty of room, even some extra space. I've had some other bits. And this is the view that I've got outside, so just watching the last of that sun go down. I'm going to try and get some photos of the stars tonight. It's really, really clear. The moon's bright. There's 1 or 2 stars out already, so I'm going to set an early alarm, I think, and nip my head out. But yeah, thanks for joining me, and we'll see you tomorrow. Oh, God. Morning. It is now, what time have we got? It is 6:20. Good night's sleep. Got a little chilly, but not crazy. Let's get up and get this tent away, shall we? Boom. God, that's bloody bright. It's just after 7. I've packed up, leave no trace as always, saying goodbye to our camp spot down there. Going to carry on walking now through the track where I had my little dilemma. Hopefully it pays off and we'll see where I potentially would have or could have camped, and yeah, whether it was the right decision. It definitely wasn't windy. I had all these hedgerows, the wind coming from this way, so both these hedgerows cutting it out for me. I could hear these rattling all night, so yeah, maybe it was the right decision. But yeah, good stuff, let's get on with it. That'll be the farmer whose land I've just camped on, so beat him by like 10 minutes. Result. It's coming back. It's a little bit hazy this morning, just need that sun to burn through, but it's beautiful and blue over that way. I think there's an owl down there. No, I'm going to lose you, aren't I? Oh, where's it just flown to? Gone. It's on the fence. It's definitely an owl. It's got that big circular face. Yeah, it's got to be a barn owl. So I've just reached the town of Houghton, and it's really historically significant, and the history goes back here over 1,000 years. And it was recorded in the Domesday Book as either Ho or How. And it's significant for 2 reasons. The first one being the bridge and its crossing across the Arun. It was recorded as having a large river crossing, would have looked very similar to this one would have. Stone arches, it was very common of the medieval time. But then the second one was also a chapel. And that would have been used by people who were using this route and the bridge especially to travel either from the sea and from Arundel further inland and across the rest of the country. This area thrived with trade. Goods like wool and timber moved swiftly along these routes. Although the stones of its chapel and bridge have long since faded into memory, Houghton's written records stamp an important legacy in the region. Today's Monday. Just come from down there, hot this style, and there's so much wild garlic here. I don't normally see it, it doesn't tend to like the chalky soil so much, but It is absolutely everywhere. All of this on my right, all of it still going, still going, still going. Here we've got some that have flowered. I am actually just going to collect a load of the flower heads. I'm glad I've just found this. This is Lords and Ladies, and it's growing right next to wild garlic here. So Lords and Ladies, you can see, has these two pronged points at the end of its leaf here. But this side of the leaf can still look quite similar, especially if you're just picking in bunches and ripping. That's why it's really important to, you know, check every leaf that you're picking up and not take too much at one time and potentially make mistakes. And although this won't kill you in sort of small quantities, it will be enough to make you ill and give you an upset stomach. So it's definitely worth avoiding and just one to be aware of. This is one of my favourite wild edibles. This is Lady Smock, and it has really strong wasabi-like taste. So, taking some of the leaves there. Oh, immediately it's so hot. Really nice in salads if you cut it up really finely. It's a really small peppery kick. So any salad or dish sort of thrown on late. There's a woodpecker above me somewhere. Where are you? I can see him.
South Stoke, a genuine medieval time capsule. Believed to date back to the Saxon era, South Stoke's history likely predates even the rise of nearby Arundel. At its heart stands St Leonard's Church, an enduring structure, an ancient yew tree that has witnessed countless seasons of change. Built predominantly of flint, the church showcases the durability and beauty of traditional local materials. Many elements, such as the stone arches and the layout of the nave and chancel, have remained largely unchanged over the centuries. This gives the church an enduring, time-worn charm that transports visitors back to an earlier era.
It's really common to find yew trees in church courtyards like this, and there's three main reasons for that. Churches will normally always be built with some sort of boundary or perimeter wall. In St Leonard's case, it's this flint stone wall, and that would mostly be to keep the livestock out of that little area. In the case of the yew trees, that's really important because it's actually toxic and can be poisonous to both livestock and to humans. So if you were that small town or village, the last thing you would want is for your work animals or for the animals you depend on for food to have become ill. That could quite easily turn into something terrible that happens for your town. The second would be yew as a building resource. It was really effective for making longbows. Its wood's really flexible but also quite strong, and longbows were the primary form of weaponry, anywhere from 500 AD to sort of 1500 AD. It would have been used for defence of the town against, people raiding and others coming in. But it would have also been used to procure food, to go out, hunt and gather, kill deer, etc. So it's really important that the wood could be maintained and looked after so that it's available for resource when needed. And then the third and final point is that yews can just grow so old. It's amazing. If they're completely undisturbed, don't get diseases, they'll easily grow to 1,000, 2,000 years old. And we have lots of ancient yew woodland in the UK. But whatever was there before is not there now. And they'll simply outlast and outlive everyone that's around them.
Arundel's origins begin as a medieval centre for trade, although it's not just a relic of the past. Its vibrant community hosts markets and cultural festivals that celebrate its story. Our first stop is Arundel Cathedral. The cathedral is a masterpiece of French Gothic revival. It became a cathedral in 1965 but was built in 1873 by the 15th Duke of Norfolk, and it was designed to echo the great cathedrals of France. Step inside and you're greeted by soaring arches, intricate stained glass and a sense of sacred peace.
To all who enter this church, whoever you are and from wherever you come, the church here bids you welcome in God's name. In this house of God, his sacraments are celebrated and prayers are offered. You may find healing, rest and peace in this place. Do not, we ask you, leave without praying for those who endeavour to keep the faith, for those who worship and for those who minister. Arundel Castle was built in the 11th century, not long after the Battle of Hastings and the Norman conquest in 1066. And it was built by the Fitz-Alan family, who go today by the Duke of Norfolk. And the Duke and his family have lived there for around the last 850 years. The castle walls cover around 11 acres of land, and the High Command Point has strong views across the countryside, outwards to the shore and even inland across the River Arun, making it a really key strategic defence hub, and no wonder why the castle was built here. Tucking into some delicious knockoff Haribos. Oh yeah. I'm nearly back in Angmering where I started. I've got about half a mile now. Just started to get onto some of the country roads that will lead me back down into the town. It's quite nice to have a bit of shade from those trees. It's been a really, really warm day. It's been a warm 2 days actually. Yesterday was great too. Thanks so much for joining me. Really appreciate you coming along. Hope you enjoyed yesterday's walk and camp, and then today following the River Arun and the history of some of the towns and villages and Arundel that we passed through. So thank you so much for joining me. I've been Kieran, this is Love Being Outdoors, and I'll see you soon. Three, 1, 2. Champion.